An actress in the movie, right?
Right. I'm playing the girlfriend of the mayor in the suspense part of the 6 Degrees of Desperation.
Are you involved with the Southeastern Film Association?
Well, I am an active member.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a featured member, and I try to be as active as I can and help Chuck out in any way that I can. We've done a podcast, a national podcast that I was involved with. And
why do you enjoy acting?
I think it's a good way to escape. I think it's a fun way to escape real life and play the part of someone else.
But what do you do for the film?
I am directing my segment and writing. I've co-written my script with a good friend of mine who's going to be doing production design.
Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about the movie. Without giving too much away, what's it about?
Well, the general idea is to take several different genres of film and mesh them together in a creative and meaningful way into one conclusive storyline that flows along seamlessly. My particular segment is a comedy horror segment, sort of along the lines of campy slapstick stuff,
Talk a little bit about the Southeastern Film Association. What is brought to the area, how you're involved, things like that.
Well, I'm really brand new to the association, but the very first thing that comes to mind that is brought to this area is a strong infrastructure for networking for like-minded people, whether you're an actor or a writer, a DP or a director. Any sort of involvement, any level of involvement that you want to have in film, you can find a place with this association.
You can look at me, ignore the camera.
Okay.
So, what do you do here? What is your role in this film?
My role in this film is as a producer of 2 of the different segments. The first segment is suspense, which I'm the first team on, and horror, I'm producing the second segment.
What is a really interesting thing about doing this? You got all these genres together and you're jamming them together. What's interesting about that? What's cool? What's different?
Well, the reason that I think it's interesting is making a movie is hard enough as it is, but to have to tie each segment both at the beginning and at the end as both a writer, a screenwriter, and as a producer, to make that segment work within the segment itself, but yet tie into both before, the one coming before and the one after, that is a very unique challenge that you don't, because you can't change it. I mean, you're stuck with that.
Right.
So.
Sounds like an interesting project. Your segments you guys are doing, about how long are they?
Each segment, we were given a 10-minute cap, and we were told to try and keep it between 8 and 10 minutes. The main segment is no more than 10 minutes, and there's about a 30-second tie-in scene that we do at the end where the main character gets the bad news at the end of the movie of whatever transpires. And the thing as a producer and as the writer, co-writer on one of the segments, we don't know what the whole movie's about. I mean, we know the basics, but I don't know the other characters. I don't know exactly what's transpiring in the other segments.
What were you guys doing today?
Today we were doing a run-through a scene with one of our actors where she goes in to answer the phone for her boss, and we were just practicing her lines, trying to get set up what they call blocking in terms of camera placement, positions, how to pull the camera back, close-ups, that sort of thing.
Oh, you're going to record me recording me.
Yes, I am.
Trying to get creative on me here. Chuck Fallaw, C-H-U-C-K, F-A-L-L-A-W.
All right, Chuck. Talk to me about this movie. Give me a little bit about what it's about.
All right. Well, the title of the movie is 6 Degrees of Desperation, and it's really a product of a project that the Southeast Film Association and my company, Movie Tower Productions, created. And the basic premise is you take one film, you cut it into 6 different segments, and you film each one in a different genre, and you bring them all back together to see what you have. This particular story kind of starts off in the teen angst There's a character who's very much modeled after your Ferris Bueller's type of guys who thinks he's too cool for school type of deal, and he's in love with this girl, and he has to get a certain person to a certain place at a certain time in order to impress her. And I'm not going to give you any more because I'm not giving away the plot.
What are some of the challenges that independent filmmakers face, and how does sort of the Southeastern Film Association help with that?
Well, actually, the Southeast Film Association was started because of the challenges that filmmakers face here in the Southeast. When Bryn, my partner, and I first started, by the way, that's Bryn Pettingill, first started this project, we were shopping around a screenplay that we written called Local Charity. And we were calling a lot of folks out in LA, and they were shutting doors in our faces and giving us the general rejection lines that you get. And then they started saying things to us like, you need to move. You need to move to LA in order to be in this industry. And we just didn't buy that. So we started looking around and trying to figure out a way to create something that would allow Southeastern filmmakers to network, come together, and be able to get their films made without the help of Hollywood or however you want to look at it. And so we created the Southeast Film Association. Started off small. We had about 100 members to begin with. And then along came this project idea because we felt like we were helping them network, but they didn't really get a chance to show off what they could do. So we created this project. Our membership jumped to like 838 members the last time I checked. And it's been great. I get emails and I get phone calls saying, you helped me crew my film, or I needed a drop cord and someone brought it to me because of the Southeast Film Association, and that really, that's really what we're about. Completely free. There's a lot of organizations out there that will charge you to be members. We don't do that. Bryn and I feel that filmmaking it has to be about more than the money. It has to be about the passion, and so that's why we don't charge anyone to be members. We work strictly off donations.
You said you guys have grown over to nearly 900 members. That's pretty amazing. That's got to make you feel pretty good.
It actually shocked me quite a bit. We started out with like 100 members. It hovered around that for about a year or so, and then we started to see it grow just kind of quietly, and then all of a sudden it exploded. We had to annex. I mean, we started it being very focused on the Southeast, but we had to annex Puerto Rico, Australia, you name a place on this planet, and we either have a member there or someone very close to it.
So what's next? What's the next step? You guys are out here today doing some run-throughs. What's the next step?
The next step is the actual deadline for everybody to have their projects finished. We have 12 teams working in different parts of the country on this project, but their deadline is August 31st. They have to get their film into us. We're going to edit it all together. We're going to soundtrack it, and then we should have everything done by the beginning of October. At that point, we're going to premiere it here in Columbia at the Nickelodeon, and then we're going to take it around to a few other film festivals, try to get some DVD distribution, which is actually in the works. So that's probably the next step. We just got to finish filming it.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about it is we had such a great response to this project that we actually had to start turning people away because too many people I can only control so much. So we've actually got enough teams set up to do the next one. So hopefully this one will turn out good so we can do it again.
How'd you go about finding the teams? I mean, I'm sure they contacted you, but did you do a screening process or anything like that?
Basically what we did is we first of all, we sent out a message to everyone who's a member of the Southeast Film Association. Everybody you talk to today is a member of the Southeast Film Association. Everybody who's worked on this project is a member of the Southeast Film Association. So what we did is we sent out an email to everybody there, and there was more than enough just from the organization itself.
And you mentioned that it's not limited to just like certain jobs. You got people that just direct, people that write, people that act, everything in the Southeastern Film Association, right?
Basically, it's almost like setting up a cell. One person says, hey, listen, I'll take on this genre in this market. And then it's their job to go out, cast, crew, direct, write that particular piece. They send it to us, we approve everything, and then we move forward.
If people are interested in you call it CIFA, right?
CIFA.
Yeah. If people are interested in it, how can they find information to join or whatever?
Just go to the website. It's www.scfilmclub.com. There's actually links to information about 6 Degrees and Movie Tower Productions on there as well. And send Bryn or I an email, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you.
Cool. Anything else that you could think we missed? Because there was a lot that you wanted to cover.
No, I think we got it.
Cool.